Greetings, I'm your host, Dr. Wolfula, and when I'm not throwing Halloween parties in houses that are even more abandoned and haunted than my own, I'm here at the Wolfula reviewing movies. You know, it's really tough being a Halloween tastemaker. I try to make October as Halloween-themed as I can, seeing as I already mostly review horror movies anyway, but there are only so many horror films that take place on Halloween, surprisingly enough, and I've already rushed through all the obvious ones. Fortunately, there's shit like Night of the Demons, not to be confused with the similarly titled Night of the Demon about the Sasquatch that rapes people. If you aren't keeping score at home, Night of the Demons was an 80s Halloween horror flick about some adult teens who raise demons and get real ugly. The film was sort of a sleazier Evil Dead flick with cheesier acting and a more slasher film-like structure, containing all the gore and nudity you could possibly ask for. So it goes without saying that it was a fun flick, but Night of the Demons came out on the tail end of the horror craze of the 1980s, so it was never as well known as some of its contemporaries, and didn't go on to have the immediate sequels it would have otherwise gotten. Somehow, though, during the absolute nadir for horror that was the early to mid-90s before Scream was released, a Night of the Demons sequel was released in 1994. Night of the Demons 2, co-written by the original's writer, Joe Augustine. Night of the Demons 2 picks up 6 years after the events of the first flick at a Catholic boarding school, not too far away from the notorious Hull House, where goth chick turned she-demon Angela's doom party was held. Speaking of Angela, her sister Melissa is actually enrolled in the school. As the great Bill Cosby would say, you see, after Angela was presumed dead, she still managed to write home to her parents, which really fucking freaked them out.
Everyone tried to convince him that it was just a really bad joke, but they swore that it was her signature.
That night, they both committed suicide. Suicide?
I think performing a joint suicide is a little too extreme of a response to seeing a piece of paper. Unless the piece of paper has Nickelback lyrics on it, in which case, do what you need to do. The suicide leaves Melissa parentless and living in a Catholic boarding school populated by some of the oldest looking teenagers I've ever seen in a movie. Seriously, this film puts the quote-unquote teens in the original flick to shame.
I have to sit up for a dance I'm not even invited to? Isn't it some sort of child abuse or something?
Motherfucker, you are anything but a child. Everyone at the school calls Melissa Mouse, which is the worst thing you could call someone.
Go to bed, Mouse. My name's Melissa.
Actually, I think I'm gonna have to bleep that. With YouTube's new censorship policy, you can't say words like mouse anymore. Oh, fuck! I said it again. Anyway, like in every Catholic boarding school, all the girls spend most of the day in the dorms either half-nude or fully nude, while the boys in the opposite dorm ogle them through binoculars, while also mostly nude. Okay, it's a little weird copping a boner around your homies. Nothing gay about a reach-around if you're looking at a naked woman while it happens, though. Halloween is coming up, and the school is gearing up for a party celebrating the 31st.
Yes, I thought it'd be a great opportunity for the kids to, well, cut loose for a change.
Cut loose.
Oh boy, Christians throw the best Halloween parties. The Halloween party isn't the only thing people are talking about, though. Hull House and the demons supposedly residing in it are a hot topic.
Angela?
The girl who threw the party. They searched the property over and over, high and low, but never found her body.
It's an especially popular piece of discussion for Perry here, the obligatory nerd, who is convinced that demons are real and is obsessed with them like some kind of anime protagonist.
Well, the church gets its directive from Jesus himself, right?
Yes.
Well, he cast out demonic spirits no less than 26 times in the Bible.
Well, yes, but why don't we discuss some of Jesus' other teachings, such as love for all mankind?
You can't expect priests to actually believe the nonsense they talk about. Get real. Nevertheless, Perry performs a seance and successfully channels, you guessed it, Angela Franklin, who has also been terrorizing poor Melissa in her nightmares, snapping off her lower jaw like it was a piece of lettuce. Amelia Kincaid reprises her role as Angela and is the only returning cast member.
Have you been saved?
Who, me?
Offering a respite from a cast whose only other recognizable actor is Ben Stiller's wife. I mean, I don't need a recognizable cast, but I can't make fun of any of these people if I don't know anything about them. Anywho, after Shirley and Kurt...
Ladies call me King Snake.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shirley and King Snake here do some provocative wrestling on the tennis court. Hot. Sister Gloria bans Shirley and her friends from attending that night's Halloween dance.
I can see that you need time to examine your conscience. Therefore, you will remain in the dormitory tonight. And that goes for your friends here, too.
Aw, rats. It looks like a real banger, what with the nun watching your every move.
Leave a little room for the Holy Ghost.
The only alternative in this situation is to, of course, throw your own Halloween party at the local haunted funeral home. Makes perfect sense. Of course, outside of Shirley and her boyfriend Rick, nobody in the group knew they were headed to the notorious Hull House, especially Mouse, who flips her shit.
I can't go here!
Would somebody shut her up?
Take me home! I can't go!
Shut the fuck up! Shut up!
You know, I suppose it's not that much of an overreaction considering that house kinda ruined Mouse's life, but she's still acting like a pussy. Shirley decides to stir up some Halloween fun during an otherwise totally shitty party by raising some demons through a ritual sacrifice of a kitty cat. Meow.
Or pin the knife on the sacrifice.
No catcrifice necessary, though. As Mouse sees with her own 2 eyes, the movie makes it clear that Angela is alive and thriving as a ghost demon, I guess. Even killing a couple of Mormons in the opening, who thought they were getting a slice of cake but got a slice of something else. Oh, satisfying. Now that I think about it, I don't know what made Angela so special compared to, say, Linnea Quigley that keeps her around as a demonic entity. Maybe it's just a goth thing. After Sally Sitwell gets spooked by the disembodied head in the toilet who just wants a little warning before he gets pissed on, the gang leaves Hull House unscathed, except Rick's friend Z-Boy, who stays behind to have some quality time with Angela. I had no idea they leaked another Kardashian sex tape. So you may assume that this is where the terror ends, right? After all, the demons can't leave Hull House, as explained by Marcia Brady here.
The underground stream that surrounds the property. Everybody says it keeps the demons inside.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know demons were vampires. Unfortunately, BB swipes a little souvenir. Some old lipstick that grows into what looks like the dog kind of lipstick that then allows Angela to leave Hull House and get a little lesbian action in Edgewise. From here, all hell breaks loose literally as the demonic influence spreads. Of course, demons aren't exactly safe themselves inside a Catholic school. Night of the Demons 2 hits all the right notes to be a satisfying sequel to the original. The makeup effects are great, with some good gore and creative kills along with them. The highlight for me is when Demon Shirley does a little striptease for Rick, but when he tries to get to second base, her breasts become grabby themselves. Whoa, she's got Lindsay Lohan tits. Okay, what I want to know is what was the point of writing something batshit crazy like chest hands covered in acid if Shirley just snaps Rick's neck afterwards? Lame. I must admit though, the sequel doesn't really reach the same heights of demonic mayhem as the first flick, but it's a lively, fun time regardless. Another box that gets checked with the sequel? Tons of gratuitous nudity. Seriously, people act like the Friday the 13th flicks are steamy, but they're tame compared to Night of the Demons. It's like Game of Thrones in here.
You're so beautiful.
I guess she wasn't beautiful until her shirt was off. Honestly, the sex and violence in this flick makes it feel like an authentic film released in the prime of the 80s horror trend, despite being produced in the early 90s. In a time when shit like Jason Goes to Hell was coming out for marquee franchises, it's remarkable that something like Night of the Demons gets a sequel that does it justice. My only misgiving is with the cast, specifically with the lack of diversity like the original. The first flick had a colorful, varied cast. The sequel's cast is big, but a lot of the characters are interchangeable and not all that memorable. I mean, most of these characters lack depth and exist to die anyway. Might as well make them easy to identify stereotypes. For instance, the demon playing basketball with his own decapitated head should have totally been a black dude. It's unrealistic otherwise.
Larry Bird's in the air. Nothing but net.
The flick does mix things up a bit by having a nun and priest in active roles alongside the teens, but I don't really like the main character, Mouse. Mouse feels like if Jamie from Halloween 4 was played by an adult woman, and it's absolutely irritating.
It was Angela! It was Angela! She was standing right there, I saw her! Take me out of here, please.
At times, Mouse genuinely seems like she was meant to be played by a child, but an adult got the role instead. I know the character is supposed to be messed up in the head, but she lost her parents when she was 13, not 5. Also, I feel like the campy acting and cheesy dialogue really dates the flick as a 90s picture and makes it tonally feel like a kid's movie at times, especially during the first act.
I hope you're hungry.
I think
We'll skip the cake.
Oh, don't be silly. It's devil's food.
Amid Sister Gloria's ruler fencing scene, I was anticipating seeing the Disney Channel logo pop up, but then the hardcore nudity throughout kinda snaps things back to R-rated land. Alright, I'm about to spoil the second half of Night of the Demons 2. If you've got misgivings about this, skip to the time code for my final verdict, and may God be with you. It goes without saying that Angela really shouldn't have fucked with a Catholic school. After Angela's violent mayhem and suggestive dancing to rock music, Sister Gloria prepares to deliver a can of whoop-ass on the demonic harlot, giving a whole new meaning to the word nunchucks. Perry is also quite inculcated in the ways of demon killing, filling up some modified squirt guns with holy water, along with some water balloons.
What's that?
Holy artillery.
Do you have one for me?
Oh, Angela and her demonic horde is screwed. Eventually, a few fatalities follow inside Hull House, including a pincushion priest, and even Perry through a noble sacrifice.
Please, John. Save Melissa.
But Sister Gloria perseveres through it all.
Leave a little room for the Holy Ghost.
Man, I don't see why Sister Gloria didn't catch on like Ash Williams with one-liners like that.
Spare the rod and spoil the child.
Eventually, Sister Gloria's Christ gang confronts Angela, who's trying to do some demon shit to Mouse. You know how it is.
Welcome. I'm so glad you could join us on this very special occasion.
Oh, we really can't stay. We've just come from Melissa.
Angela manages to decapitate Sister Gloria. Or so it seems, because, no joke, Sister Gloria hides her head inside her habit like she's a fucking turtle.
Beds and all.
Okay, that's this movie jumping the shark, which makes way for some Star Wars morality play shit when Sister Gloria switches places with Mouse, who is told to decapitate the nun in turn, but Sister Gloria tells Mouse to use the Force.
Remember your faith.
Remember Jesus or whatever. And Angela is thwarted and cut down by a holy water Uzi for good measure. Angela then melts, but this happens to all goths who get caught in the rain.
Let's get out of here.
Thought Angela was done for good, though? Think again. Angela comes back as a Tommy Wiseau snake and tries to get a little incest action in, but Johnny kicks out a window, letting in a cross-shaped beam of light, which has gotta, like, double kill her or something because Angela fucking explodes. Sweet!
Everything is going to be all right.
It sure is, Sister Gloria. It sure is. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm pretty sure that final shot was just for the sake of having CGI in this movie. That cartoon snake looked like something out of fucking Aladdin. There wasn't even blood or screaming. Kinda lame place to end the movie. Oh well. Well, that was Night of the Demons 2. Folks act like a sequel needs to be just as good as, or better than the original film to justify existing, but that's never fair. To me, a sequel, especially a horror sequel, just needs to be a good time with a continuation of the stuff you loved from the first, done in some new ways. And Night of the Demons 2 meets this criteria. I give Night of the Demons 2 a breast hands out of nunchucks. Leave a little room for the Holy Ghost.
Beds and all hope.
Close shave, Angela. But no cigar.